get my workspace laid out here.
Okay, we are recording. Greenwich Township Committee, November 6, 2014. Members present, Bayleys.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Polari.
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes.
Adequate notice of this meeting was given in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act by mailing the schedule of the Township Committee to the express times in the North Star Ledger newspaper, posting a copy on the Township Bulletin Board, and filing a copy with the Township Clerk. And this is executive session.
Can I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss litigation with the Warren County Prosecutor's Office, possible litigation regarding COA and open space land negotiations? We are tabling the tax appeal Inland Western Phillipsburg Greenwich LLC.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Bayleys.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Polari.
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes.
Have the tape off. Okay.
What do you want me to do?
Yes.
That was a recorded one.
Okay, we'll call the Greenwich Township Committee meeting, November 6, 2014, to order. Members present, Bayleys.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Polari.
Present.
Torriello.
Here.
All rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, we have two bill lists. One
Here we go.
from the October meeting, and then one that was
Okay.
tallied up for them. Jim, do you have the totals off the two bill lists?
What those were requests that we are holding, right?
Do we have a total number?
Lorraine, can you
Because if we
provide,
don't, I'm tabling it. We're
Lorraine,
not.
can you
Yeah.
provide
I either need an exact number
the
or we're
total amount
tabling it.
for the bill list number one, bill list number
It's
two?
on the red folder is bill list number one. It's dated by
Yep.
Okay.
the original date of the bill list, and the total was written right on it.
Okay, so can I have a motion to approve the bill list in the amount of $2,333,700.70?
I will second.
I'll make the motion, I'll give a second. Bayleys.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Polari.
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes. And then with respect to the second bill list, is that the, hold on one second. So the second bill list then is the 66,467.77?
You know, it's on
Six-
that as well.
66, the walk-on was where? The,
That was the resolution to refund for silver in the amount of $145, bringing, if you approve that walk-on, the total for the
Yeah.
second bill list to $66,612.77.
Okay, and that also includes all of the motions, including the POSHA mandate and all of that, or that will be,
No,
because we're going to handle that separately? Okay, that's fine. So can I have a motion to approve the second bill list in the amount of $66,632.77?
I'll make the motion.
second.
Comment, roll call.
Bayleys.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
I have it as 612, 66, 612. 77.
612.
77, okay. As amended, yes. There's an extra.
Yes.
You rounded up for some reason. Yes.
Yes, yes. Okay. Polari and Torriello.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Can I have a motion to accept the police and court reports for November? Actually, I see police for
October and November, I think.
October and November.
Are they both in here, October and November?
No, it was just October.
No.
Just October.
Just
Yes.
October, and it's just for strikeout, it's just for police, I don't see any court report.
The second page. It's tab,
Yes.
tab 6. First one is the police.
Yeah.
Oh, I see,
Yeah.
it's just for October.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Comment, roll call.
Bayleys.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Polari.
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-55, authorizing redemption of tax lien in the amount of $1,565.28 for Block 23.11, Lot 3?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Valari?
Yes.
Cordero?
Yes. Can I have a resolution, can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-56, a refund of unused escrow monies to Brett and Leah's Lodi Bacho in the amount of $649.74.
Make the motion.
Second.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Valari?
Yes.
Cordero?
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-57, a resolution authorizing a refund of payment towards fine in municipal court regarding Hanlovic
I'll make the motion.
in the amount of $500.
Make the motion. Second.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Valari?
Yes.
Cordero?
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-58, which is a resolution authorizing the appropriation in the amount of $10,000 for the OSHA mandate?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey's? Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Valari?
Yes.
Cordero?
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-59, the acceptance of improvements performance bond release regarding Shammy Shine Car Wash, Block 26.01, Lot 1, in the amount of $17,500 to be refunded?
Make the motion.
Second.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Valari?
Yes.
Cordero?
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-61, a resolution authorizing refund of sewer overpayment to Cortez and Hayes? That's a title company. That can't be right. Did Cortez and Hayes?
Yes.
Oh, did they? Okay, in the amount of $145.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Comment? Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Valari?
Yes.
Cordero?
Yes. Right there. You want this? Okay, now can I have a motion to open up the meeting for public comment for agenda items only?
Can I just ask one question about the bill list?
Sure.
Do we have to do a separate resolution to pay Mr. Fasano?
Yes.
You should definitely authorize the release of the payment.
Okay.
Yeah, just so you know, you were looking for permission to go out and do that and whatnot. Did you want that for later on tonight?
No, why don't we do it now? So,
Oh, we have
Okay,
two
whatever you
items,
want.
we're gonna have our
yeah, because we're gonna have it, we'll open up for public comment, so we can do that now. So, a motion authorizing the CFO to cut a check to pay Lou Fasano
The amount of,
in the amount of $9,880.
$888, whatever.
Whatever it is, I'll make the
$9,800.
motion.
Okay,
80.
80.
It's 980.
That's what I said, $9,880.
Okay.
$988.
Sense, no?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
No sense at all.
Comment, roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Valari?
Yes.
Cordero?
Yes. Okay. Now, can I have a motion to open up the meeting for public comment on agenda items only?
Make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone wishing to make public comment on agenda items, please step up, state your name and address for the record.
Agenda item for assuming of the performance bond release from Shannon Shine. Will we be able to receive a check tonight, as you just discussed in my letter? Secondly, there's a maintenance bond that's in effect.
$2,500.
Bond, which I believe, if I'm not clear, is for 2 or 3 years. And I would like to request that that maintenance bond begin the day it's expected, which is September 4th. So once, there's 2 or 3 years from September 4th, I have not got a document pertaining to the maintenance bond to put in our file.
The 2,500.
What this extent is referring to is the bond that was required to put in the curb, the pork chop island out
Right,
of
yeah.
Shannon Shine around that access road. Okay. There was a $20,000 performance bond established. what we agreed upon was, once it was done, inspected, and approved, that we would need to hold a maintenance bond,
Understood.
which is for 2 years.
Just two, yeah.
And that's why he got $17,500 back, and we hold the $2,500 balance, which in essence is the maintenance bond. Okay. The second, that's first part of the question?
Because the main bond begins with...
No, I was getting to the second part of the question. I think you asked two things, so I want to make sure that we're good with the first. Typically, the maintenance bonds go into effect the date of acceptance of the improvements, which would really be tonight by virtue of their release. However, there's no reason you couldn't in this case. I mean, we're talking a month.
Couple of months.
Okay.
The day was September 4th, you said?
4 months.
In my opinion, since he had to wait a little more to get the money back, it's fair to kind of go back to September. So why don't we do that? I think that would
2
be...
years from the date of...
September 4th.
So why don't, then can I have a motion then that to have... Oh, when we come out of public comment, great. Thank you.
Got it.
Ooh, we'll take care of it, sir. We'll put it on the record by way of motion.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
And there's, you okay on that?
Yeah.
And one other thing, I believe it's not named street, West Avenue comes in where the pork chop is installed, and then runs it, and then there's a street that turns that goes into the cul-de-sac where the access is to our property. I don't know from the right venue, but to request someone look at it from the township and notice the potholes, the condition of the road, after the rain, it holds water in deep channels, fairly deep channels that people wash their car, they leave, and they're getting water from back on. It's not even noticed, I think there's no one using it. In the past number of years, it's been just sort of out of sight, out of mind. Now we have customers using it,
Is that the street that was deeded over to the owners of the home?
No, those are municipal roads.
Okay.
Are you speaking of the access road to West Avenue?
That's West Yes, the access.
Off of New Brunswick, okay. The road that intersects New Brunswick? Or are you talking about the road that fronts on the car wash? That the car wash access is off of?
If you enter the car wash off of New Brunswick, you're on West Avenue.
No, as a matter of fact, you got it backwards.
Okay.
That's okay, but that actually brings up another interesting point. West Avenue is the name of the road that your driveway accesses. It took the double-headed cul-de-sac road. That is West Avenue. The road where the pork chop island was constructed, which goes back, which intersects with West Avenue, in conjunction with the review of Chamber Shine application, we realized that road has never been named, or is not named. And people were putting names on it that were just not
Just
correct.
stuck a name on it.
So, it's maybe something that we should consider.
Name in the street.
I've got a
that
name.
road.
Stem Avenue? Stem Circle? Hey, you had to take a shot, you know? You had to take a shot.
So, I mean, again, it's certainly nothing pressing.
No, but it's...
Yeah, it's something that's gotta be done.
Is that at the planning board?
Sign, we can update the tax maps, I mean, it's the right thing to do. There's no addresses on that road. That's why it probably hasn't become a
course.
question.
People driving around.
Yeah, but it's got to affect their residents,
You're on it.
their patrons.
Just look, they ask you to look at an address, it can be attached, and maybe look at some capital.
Okay. We will, we'll get the DPW
It's going to be
department
a million
out.
anyway.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to make public comment on agenda items? If it's not an agenda item, sir, we have a second public comment period after the meeting. This is just for agenda items. Shortly, we don't have a large agenda tonight. Can I have a motion to close first public comment then, seeing no hands?
Motion.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion resetting the maintenance bond with respect to Shammy Shine for September 4th, 2014, so that it would expire September 4th, 2016?
I don't have any paperwork. Where are you getting September 4th?
That's the
Where does that date actually
the
come
day
from?
that your inspector there approved it. We did the final inspection of it, it's complete, and then we waited for the next committee meeting. So that was the final inspection.
He's saying CO, right?
Well, no, they had a CO.
They already had one, it was
Mike,
already in
why don't you-
operation.
To be honest, and it's probably only a matter of a week,
Yeah.
the date would never start from the date of inspection. The date would commence from the date of my letter to the township, which basically stated that you could release the monies. That was the acceptance.
Which would be what date?
I didn't bring the rest of the file. I don't know when that letter, it was probably...
She said she could get it.
I'll tell you what, why don't we do this? We'll table the motion. We'll have Michael Finelli get the date of his letter, and we will make it 2 years from the date of his letter at the next meeting.
That or the meeting that was canceled, postponed, the first meeting.
That would have been October 6th.
Okay, that's actually...
We can do that.
My letter was
That actually...
That makes sense.
Okay.
So I don't think I had anybody second or first or second the motion, so I'm going to just withdraw it, and I'll make a new motion to set the maintenance bond starting October 6th, 2014, October 16th, 2014, so that the maintenance bond would expire on October 15th, 2016.
I'll make the motion,
I'll second that one, wow.
Holy resolution.
Comment, roll call.
right off the top of his head.
Bailey's,
Yes.
Miliani,
Yes, and by the way of resolution,
Yes.
she'll be able to...
Yes.
Yes. Can you prepare a written,
One-pager.
a formal resolution for Mr. Stem so he can have it in his business records?
Yeah, and the other issue that was brought up was the delivery of a check tonight. I would say we have a process, so it's going to get mailed out tonight, or tomorrow.
Do you have it?
Does she have it? You have it?
Okay.
She has it.
All right.
Let her, yeah. Okay, two items for me, Michael. I just want to quickly talk about, we talked about the signage on, Main Street in terms of this, and I know there was approvals, everything's okay. What do we do to close this, to actually get it on the street, get it applied? Who's doing that? Is our DPW department doing that?
Well, we're doing the first part of it, let's call it that, and I can give you an update as far as where a couple things are at. And then, once the county issues the permit, that was the purpose, that we had to adopt a resolution, which was at the September meeting, they needed that as well to process the permit. Then basically, we are going ahead and ordering the signs and making arrangements for the striping. Now, one thing we've discovered, I talked about using the co-op to do the striping, which is the paving striping, the slope and so forth. That's not a co-op item, and it's not enough. There's not enough quantity so we're forced to go and solicit painting or striping contractors' prices. So those two items are with me. We're in the process of soliciting quotes. The signs are a little different as well. They're not stock signs that you can go to a sign company or.
Okay.
So the county's got to approve the permit. We've got to get the contractors lined up to supply the signs, paint the road, and then the DPW will work in conjunction with probably helping out.
But there's nothing else that we need to do to move this along, it's just, you're just going through whatever the steps are to get it done?
The final
Okay,
steps to get it actually done. and
Understood.
Constructed and installed.
okay, and then, thank you, Mike. I guess now I'm going to, we had some items that were published for bid for the township, and pursuant to the advertisement, they were sealed bids. Our township clerk opened the bids, and tonight we are going to announce the awarding of the successful bidders. We had a camping trailer, which the successful bidder is Christopher Tzopoulos in the amount of $2,551. Others who had bidded, the unsuccessful bidders, others were Michael Savari, Mario Rotundo, and Jerry Hoser. We also auctioned off or bid a recycling trailer. That was awarded to Joe Mexi IV for $150. Others who bidded on that were Paul Mamick and Cliff Oberly. We also went out to bid on a case loader. The successful bidder on that was Cliff Oberly in the amount of $1,575. Other bidders were R&K Garage, Mike Savari, John Inzulis, William Kober, Mario Rotundo, Jeff Haggerty, and Paul Mamrick. There was also a dump truck that was part of the bid. The successful bidder is Joshua Oberly in the amount of $1,250. Other bidders were Michael Savari, Robert Haver, R&K Garage, and Paul Mamrick. Also was a Crown Victoria. I know you're going to miss that. The successful bidder on that was Cliff Oberly in the amount of $75. Paul Mamrick was also a bidder. And
I wish I could have bid on it.
And also a van. The successful bidder was Jerry Hoser in the amount of $200. I know I'm going to miss that. Cliff Oberly and Paul Mamrick and Mario Rotundo were also bid on that. And also, let me see on page 2, also there were some bicycles that went out to bid. There was a unisex bike that there was one bid from John.
He took them all.
He took them all. Oh, I see. You know what? I didn't even look across, but yes.
He did.
So there were
He cleaned
1,
up.
2, 3, 4, 5 bikes
With no bidders.
with no bidders other than John Wernick, and each was taken for the amount of $5. So thanks for... And that's it. Those are my agenda items.
Okay, so do we want to make a motion to award
Yeah.
these?
Just one question I had
Yes.
on it. The police trailer for 2,000 and the camping trailer that Tzopoulos got for 2,500. There's no way that could have been confused.
Absolutely not. We knew the minimum bid on the police trailer was 2, and knew the minimum for the camper was 1,000.
And that's what he wanted.
Purposely bid 2,500.
Okay, good.
I'll make a
Fantastic.
motion.
I'll second it. Comment? Roll call?
Bailey?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Valori?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes.
And now, do I have permission I have to go to the motor vehicle agency? The camping trailer has no title?
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the township clerk to do whatever is necessary to get those vehicles off of the property as soon as possible, whatever legal steps necessary. That's my motion, whatever legal steps necessary, as soon as possible.
I will second that.
And so
I'll
any
third it.
checks that are required?
Any steps legally necessary to get those vehicles off of township property.
Not to exceed,
Not to exceed whatever steps necessary to get those vehicles off of the township property as soon as possible. That's my motion.
Okay.
I've seconded that.
Comment, roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Valori?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes.
All right.
Resounding yes. If it was a text, it would be all caps.
bold,
So,
red.
We all set for me now?
yes.
Can I interject, excuse me, just so this doesn't get forgotten? Because we went, when you were doing the resolutions, we went from 59 to 61.
Yes, it was on purpose because yours is 60.
Oh,
Good
you went
catch,
for me.
man.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry, my apologies.
But good catch, though. At least we know you're awake over there.
But thank you for checking. We're actually on top of it. We got it, we got it.
Hey, Mike, thanks for showing up, man.
Pardon me.
Thanks for coming. All right. We have a... Absolutely. You know what, I'm gonna allow Jim to go ahead of me so that we can,
And I should have done
free
that.
up Bob.
Yeah.
It was my bad.
All right, well, for,
Yes.
so that Bob, our auditor is here, you want to discuss a couple of things, the 2013
I'm sorry, did we make our motions come out of executive session?
Yes.
We did,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
You were on top of it.
We did
You're
that.
better than you think, Joe. Just relax.
Okay. 7.
You want to give an update on, and if you can get him a microphone?
He doesn't need a microphone.
I know that, but
Joe?
status on the 2013 order.
I had previously sent you a status report. Since that point in time, we've gone through an internal review process, which basically leads up to the issuance of our report. We came across a couple of items that required us to actually send some folks back out here for a day. There was a question as to whether or not we were going to be able to issue an unmodified or clean opinion on your financial statements because of some of the troubles that were going on with communications between the tax and finance offices. The good news is that those problems appear to have fully resolved themselves during 2014, which will make life much easier going forward, but it also having resolved without causing any further adjustments to the year-end balances, my partner and I are both comfortable issuing a clean opinion. So the audit report will have a clean opinion. We anticipate delivery of the document within the next 14 days. I think we're actually talking, if you're going to schedule a meeting on the 20th, to have a full review of the audit on the 20th.
Great.
So that's the plan. As of now, I think that there is one loose end hanging out, which we hope to resolve tomorrow, and finish drafting up the document, the opinions and the comments and recommendations, and release the report 17th, 18th,
Okay.
and review on the 20th.
Great. We are. Yeah.
We will.
We will. We're going to schedule it tonight.
For Bob, we're going to have a meeting.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
Mm-mm.
How about the SEC update?
Yeah, it's actually the MSRB, which is an arm of the Securities and Exchange Commission. They've done some rulemaking that could impact any town in the state of New Jersey that has outstanding bonds. Essentially, when you sell bonds, whether you know it or not, you have committed to a laundry list of continuing disclosure requirements. It's buried there, and if your offering statement is 60 pages, it's probably on page 59. However, it's probably the most important item in the document once the deal closes, because you commit to annual filings with the MSRB of budgets, audit documents, a demographic piece if you don't do a full-blown consolidated annual financial report. So there's a separate piece that will have to be put together every year. You're not in compliance in most towns in the state of New Jersey. So there's two pieces to what you're going to have to do. The first piece is a remedial effort, which is basically upload a bunch of documents and write a bunch of letters for anything that was out of compliance. And then the second piece is on an annual basis, monitor what goes on and contact the MSRB and file as necessary. I'll give you an example. If your bonds are insured, right, and the insurer gets their rating downgraded by one of the multiple ratings houses for bond insurance companies, that triggers a disclosure requirement. Right now, your CFO probably is not aware that the bond insurance company got a downgrade in their rating or an upgrade in their rating because she's not reading the bond buyer on a daily basis. I don't read the bond buyer on a daily basis, so I'm not very well equipped to do these filings, which is why in my conversations with your finance committee, I've recommended that you engage a financial advisory firm. You don't need these people to assist you in bond sales because you don't have any bond sales pending, and hopefully you won't for a while. But they are the best equipped to do this because they are tied into all of the financial reporting systems, and they do this work. The company I'm going to recommend to you
has at least a couple of hundred municipal and school board clients in the state. And,
What's the fees?
well, they haven't given me any final fees, so what I've suggested is that you give them an upset of $2,500 to do the remedial part, and then we'll take it from there.
At least they can start the work, because there's a deadline in December.
Right.
Understood.
There's
They need time.
Early December filing deadline, and in theory, you're supposed to be, all cleaned up by then. And there's no immediate penalty if you're not. But what will happen is the MSRB will recommend and the SEC will bar underwriters from bidding on your bonds prospectively. So you don't want to be in that position, right? This is not something you want to be on the wrong side of. So
Obviously.
what will happen is you're going to have the remedial effort, and then on an annual basis there will be a filing. The FA will have a form that they will send over to your finance officer, and she'll fill it out with all the information she has. They'll do the digging on the demographic stuff and put together the demographic piece. I'll give them a PDF version of the annual audit, the annual budget, the annual financial statement, the annual debt statement. Lorraine will authorize them to go onto the website and upload for her, and they will do it on an annual basis. And then you'll be in sweet compliance.
Okay. Do you have a name for
Yeah,
the financial advisor?
The company I'm recommending to you is Phoenix Advisors. They're out of Bordentown. They're statewide. And again, they're one of the 2 or 3 largest FAs in the state.
Okay. Good. And we could do a motion. You want to do Frank, any issue in doing that motion for them for $2,500?
Do we want to look at, you want doing independent research on your own beforehand, or just want to take Mr. Morrison's fine recommendation?
Take Mr. Morrison.
Mr. Morrison has not led us astray this whole year.
Early
That's fine.
December.
This whole year.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to authorize Phoenix Advisors to take care of just the remedial portion?
Yeah, I would say just remedial portion, because you will engage them on an annual basis going forward if you care to.
Okay.
For the,
And we can take care of that in January.
dissemination agent services.
Okay. So for remedial services not to exceed $2,500.
I'll second that motion. Comment, roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Sorry?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Bob, you're going to take the lead on that and get us something in writing from Phoenix? Yes, okay.
Thank you.
And regarding the enhanced communications between financials and taxes for 2014, what's your recommendation? I know when we first came in, we started our audit process January 15th. What's your read on our capability of doing that for the 2014 audit?
I would think, based on reports back from my staff, that you're in much better condition right now than you were a year ago at this time. So we basically, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to coordinate with Lorraine. We have an annual debt statement that has to be filed with the state. The statutory filing date for that is January 31st. We have the annual financial statement. The statutory filing deadline is February 10th. The debt statement I can probably do remotely, because you haven't had a lot of debt authorizations, and I can go through your minutes online to see it, if you've had it. The annual debt statement is, like I said, is the annual financial statement. If we're going to make a February 10th filing, we need to be, boots on the ground here sometime late January. So we'll coordinate with Lorraine, what we would hope to have done, and we can work around, so.
Good. No, I think January 2015 will go much smoother.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to a nice, clean, easy, smooth.
So am I.
Financial statement process.
And one last question, Bob. In terms of our total debt for Greenwich Township, where do we stand?
You have a very low debt level. It's
1.2.
I think it was 1.2 at the start of the year. It was
Okay.
I think 1,180,000. So your debt is going down, and the plan, and we've discussed this, so the rest of the members of the committee, the Finance Committee and I have discussed trying to develop a plan going forward that will make compliance with the MSRB in the future a non-starter, because you won't have any debt, so you won't have any reporting requirements. The idea is to try to get you on a pay-as-you-go basis. And the reason for doing that, it's not always fully possible. I mean, things like open space costs, if you've got a piece of land that you need to buy to keep it from being developed, and it's going to cost millions of dollars, you're not going to be able to do that on a pay-as-you-go basis. But, you know, if you do the calculations and you figure out what the additional costs for school purposes would be if the land was built out, you know, usually the calculations indicate that it's cheaper to pay the debt service and own the land, because usually when a development is built, there are kids coming out of that development into the school system forever. Whereas if you buy the piece of land 20 years later, it's yours, you own it, and nobody's ever going to school for it. But at any rate, for things like road programs, building maintenance, park maintenance, that would like to see you get onto a pay-as-you-go basis, which is going to obviously involve Mr. Finelli, because we're going to have to map out the estimated annual cost of road maintenance, the estimated annual cost of building maintenance, and if there's big projects that would come up every 5 or 10 years, we would try to finance them prospectively if possible, so that we have a pot of money when it comes due. If not, we're going to have to commit to a
Short-term loans and stuff like that.
short-term loans and annual funding, because the bond laws in the state say that if you've got short-term loans out for 10 years, you have to go to bonds or pay them off. So the idea would be is never have more than a 10-year lifespan on the financing of the project. But that's the goal.
Okay. Great.
So we have set our sights on a plan.
Yeah, it's an ambitious plan, because
We know.
it's not going to be easy, and there's going to be some tough decisions that will have to be made, but
That's why we're here.
Budget process, if we can get some good projections of capital costs, we can start mapping out a plan and see whether or not you think it's feasible.
No, I think that's a good idea. I think that's a really good idea. All right.
Thank you, Bob, for coming tonight
Thank you, Bob.
and updating us.
That's great. Thank you.
And we're good now, Bob, on this appropriation?
On the
fire.
Yes, I should get this on the record.
Yeah,
please.
I had a chance to look at the financial statements of the fire company that was submitted. We had a question. Tom went back to the fire company and got me the answer. And as a result, my recommendation is to release the check.
Which is how much?
You have the total?
It's the last quarter.
It's not on the bill.
11,250?
Yeah, the last quarter.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
So we have to do a motion.
Still finishing up?
Yes.
No, go ahead.
You finish up. Go ahead. Let's keep going with you.
Authorize that third quarter appropriation.
Yeah,
I'll do it under
can I have a motion authorizing the third quarter appropriation to the fire company in the amount of $11,250?
I'll make the motion.
A second.
Comment, roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Florey?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes.
Sorry, John.
Are we going to spin through you to finish you up, or?
I have one other thing
Go ahead.
which was more of a
Just
discussion.
finish up. Oh, it's more of a
Yeah.
discussion? Might as well.
Oh, okay.
Finish up.
And I didn't know, it was the resolution for appointment of the Clean Communities Coordinator. I know there was communications going back and forth, and I wanted to just use this time for discussion, if there were any questions on that, or if things had been answered. And I didn't know really where we stood on that.
Read it.
Did you get the revised
I got the
resolution that John Drill revised?
I didn't really,
We can use it for next week.
Okay, you know what,
It's in here,
No,
though?
it isn't.
No, you know what,
Okay,
I'll
it's fine.
circulate it. I'll
Can you circulate it, and then we'll put it on the
Okay.
20th agenda?
agenda.
Okay, great.
Minutes be paid.
Good, thank you.
Thanks.
That was it.
Okay. Thank you, Jim.
So we're all set.
Yes, thank you.
All right, I just want to, under fire, I need a motion to accept a new fire police member, George Howell.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Comment, roll call.
Bayleaf.
Yes.
Emiliani.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Lorick.
Yes.
Grillo.
Yes.
We already did the appropriation. Under OEM, we're due for the Emergency Operations Plan Annex and updates. It's been completed. It's just waiting for the mayor's signature as well as the deputy EMC, which is me, to sign. Joe, I wanted to review it and flip through it real quick, which I didn't get a chance to, so I'll do that this evening and I'll sign it. Is there anywhere you want me to leave this? Directly in your firebox, or?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. All right, so that'll be taken care of tonight. Is there anything that, outside of what I know, is there anything that sticks out that you changed, any major changes in any of the folds?
Just some of the changes, I moved the emergency operating center back to the municipal building.
Right.
Prior, had a squad building.
Squad, yeah. I want to hear.
Squad building,
Good.
primary and secondary.
Good.
With the potential hopes here within a year or so, we'll have an emergency generator here.
Good, good.
And about the only other thing, and I just want to correct this, it's actually the fourth quarter fire company appropriation.
Did I say third?
No, it's listed as the
Oh,
fourth.
okay.
So,
Fourth quarter.
to make sure of that. And I'm under the impression that, I guess, the one trailer that the town has accepted the bid on was going to come back to emergency management. If that's so.
The funds, yes, they are.
Yes, yes.
I'm already working
Yeah, I know.
on quotes and stuff. I took a class October 1st on Emergency Operations Center
Right.
up at the County Communications, and they did an exercise at the end of October. And I'm looking to add a couple of township phone lines to the fire station because that's where radio communications
Right,
and
I remember that,
stuff
Lacey.
are. And I have that section, I have the fire station set up on an emergency generator right now. So they will be active, and this way here, any phone calls
Right.
that come in can be
Really
answered
important
there
to do that.
because there's power there.
Right, right.
Unlike Sandy, when
That's a great idea, Joe, yeah.
my phone lines were still working over there, but people are gonna call the municipal number,
Right.
looking for phones to be answered.
So you'll have it set up that way.
We'll have 2 lines dedicated for the EOC.
Great.
And
take care of it.
we found a couple spare phones, so we don't have to purchase that.
Oh,
Right
great.
now, the estimate to run the lines and stuff's about $500 of that. And also, on the emergency operating plan, some of the maps, the evacuation maps and stuff that I'm supposed to have are old, outdated, stuff like that. I've inquired to Mike, knowing that this might be coming, to give me some updated maps so I can redo the evacuation routes and things like that. There's important things in the basic plan that lists what we're supposed to have on one hard copy so we can pull them out in the case of emergency. And so,
And Joe, one last question. Our asset list of
Mhm.
shareable assets, that's all up to date?
yes, the asset list there, as I said, is that it's not attached there. What I'm gonna do with this emergency operations plan, we're gonna have a plan, and I'm gonna have another binder with
That's fine.
all the attachments to all the plans. So
My initial flip through was, I didn't see it, so I want to make sure that we have everything from
That's
the,
gonna be a separate book.
and you spoke with the police chief on his, are you including the police stuff in there as shareable?
Yeah, well, there's one stuff that we're allowed to know about, yes.
Okay, yeah, okay.
At the time of need, that can be discovered, but it doesn't have to be done.
Right, that's fine. And the only reason why I asked that is because there was that trailer behind Old School that never made the list, and it was listed as an asset of the police department.
That
And
never
not,
showed up in any old
Right.
indexes and never was put into the...
so yeah, that's fine. No, thanks a lot, I appreciate it. This, by the way, everybody, here, for the taxpayers, this is a lot of work from for the Office of Emergency Management to file on behalf of the town, and Joe has done a yeoman's job preparing this thing. This thing is very, very lengthy, and it needs to, you need a lot of T's crossed and I's dotted, so it's, so far, first watch, it looks great, so I appreciate the work.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe, as always.
Thank you, Joe.
The only other thing I want to just shed some light on, fire department wise, at the end of September, there's 3/4 way through the year, fire department ran 168 incident calls. That was our whole total for 2013. Financially, since I am treasurer of the fire department, we're running a deficit of about $15,000. I had to dip into our surplus. at this time. So right now, we've had some little extra money to sell the one fire truck. I just got the final check. The one engine's been gone. The tower truck, I just got the final payment today.
Is that going overseas? Is that still going overseas?
See where it's going, so we're gonna take it to the Fort Pole.
So it's going to
Argentina.
Argentina.
It's going to Argentina.
Our fire truck is going to
Our fire truck.
Argentina, ladies and gentlemen.
We have 50 international sales.
But at this time, it looks like,
Good job.
I don't want to try to calculate, but we're going to be running 200 runs this year, and fires are up in the county this year. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to have the proceeds of the sale of that OEM trailer of $2,551 to be allocated back into the OEM department portion of the budget and not to be put back in the general fund.
I'll second that motion. Comment, roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Freeland?
Yes, and before we proceed and forget, I failed to make a motion coming out of executive session authorizing Attorney John Drill to proceed in accordance with the terms discussed in executive session, not to exceed $2,000.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Comment, roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Freeland?
Yes.
I'm done.
Okay. Angela? Or Elaine? Or you have anything?
No, I had mine in executive.
Okay. Angela?
I wanted to start with a moment of silence for someone our town lost recently, Dr. Sherm Ames. He was a World War II veteran. He was a veterinarian in his town for many years. His wife is Betsy. She's the secretary of our senior club. He's a Rotarian. He was in the he was a flyer in the Navy Air Corps, and he was with the town for many years. I'm sure a lot of the farmers remember he actually retired in 1998, and he's been hospitalized recently. He died at 90, almost 91. I would go to Rotary. He would make up. He belonged to Easton Rotary. He would make up at the Phillipsburg Rotary. I talked to him many times, and I'm sure he'll be missed. So a moment of silence for him. Okay. Emergency Squad. We have two new members, Anne Marie Hurley and Nathaniel Holtz. I can make a motion to accept those two new members.
Second.
Comment, roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Freeland?
Yes.
Last month, the Emergency Squad had an award ceremony. I'd like to make mention of some of the awards.
You did?
Yes, they did. Senator Michael Dougherty was there. Richard Gardner was there. Freeholder.
I don't know why I went down this path.
Did you know about this?
Yes, I was there as a liaison.
And as the liaison, did you notify the township committee that there was an event,
ceremony,
an
yeah.
award ceremony?
I'd like to attend.
They
Did you-
let me know.
I'm asking you as a liaison if you let the other elected officials of Greenwich Township know about this.
I just assumed that everyone else was told.
It's a simple question,
No,
Angela.
I did not.
Okay, thank you.
So these are the awards. Richard Hoyt was awarded with 30 years of service. Gary Hill for 25 years of service. Sue Fleming and Kathy Williams for 20 years of service. Julie Fleming and Paul Beam for 10 years of service. Zach Trainer and Teresa Eisenberg for 1 year of service. The top responders, most calls answered for 2014 were Paul Beam and Anthony Pepe. That was in the paper. The next thing I have is, you might have noticed in the paper, the Warren Reporter, Washington Borough Council to toughen laws on foreclosures. There's a recent law in New Jersey which allows us as townships to make tougher laws on the banks for foreclosures. And this is something that I feel is important to, especially to HOAs like Greenwich Chase. We have a lot of foreclosures in our development, and it's becoming a big problem. It's a big problem throughout the town. If you read this article, you can see that what they've done is if a bank fails to let the township know about a foreclosure, there's a $2,500 fine. And if for infractions, they can fine them up to $1,500 per day for nuisances. It goes through all the procedures that they do here. They have to let the obviously the banks know about their ordinance, and once they do, then there's follow-up or what have you. And it's a little bit of a pain in the beginning, but they feel that once all the townships know, these banks will start to really take care of these houses. I think this is something that we should do in this township because it's becoming a big problem. I have a copy of the resolution from Washington Borough here. It's in the file. What number is it, Kim?
She had to leave.
I think it's
Probably 62.
No, that's a Washington Borough
Yeah, it's,
ordinance.
yeah, she handed out the
an
article,
It's a
Angelo.
copy.
yeah, it's in the folder. I think it's number 9.
I think that's it. Is that it?
Yeah. Is that it?
Okay. Thank you. Michael, you have anything to update us on?
Just a couple things. Okay, let's get the resolution 2014-60 right off the get-go. That is a resolution that needs to be adopted by the township regarding the submittal of this year's DOT grant applications.
Sorry, keep going.
It's a standard resolution. I think Kim passed a copy of it out earlier. And it just needs to be submitted in conjunction with our application, which was submitted a lot of October 14th, I think they were doing. And the resolution can go in after the fact, so we're not in a problem time-wise. So, there's no questions, I would,
I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-60, a resolution authorizing the approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant agreement with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the Washington Street resurfacing project.
Make the motion.
Second.
Comment. Roll call.
Bailey's,
Yes.
Miliani,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Clary,
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes.
Mike, what's the cost going to be for the application?
well, it's already been built, so it's done. Actually, since it was a repeat, probably $300.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I just
it's
wanted to-
pretty nominal.
yeah, okay.
400.
Thanks.
Check.
That's okay.
On our bills.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a couple thousand.
No,
Kim, you have a shadow.
You're looking bad.
okay.
More motions over the track.
Do we need to discuss Dumont
Yes,
Road?
oh, yes, we
Yes,
do.
we do.
And I will
Yes,
give
we
you
do.
the
Yes, we
update
do.
for that. I'm going to say Dumont Road for last,
Yeah.
again.
Mike, real quick, the stuff going on at Ridgeline, we're repaving that whole road? Or is it just repairs?
Oh, I don't,
That's just not
I don't
repairs.
know. What are we doing?
It was just a spot repair.
Oh, it's a spot, okay.
It's a big spot.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You know, and speaking of pothole repair, Joe, because you'll just send me the text since you're here. Can you go out by the Shammy Shine on that dead?
I know exactly where
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that would be great if you could effectuate a repair on that.
And do
Would
we
be
have a
great.
list of what the proposed repairs are, so we know what's happening down
We've asked for it. We have a report.
Yeah, we have it on email.
And it's-
Okay. No, I just wanted to...
And I don't know, is Joe in charge of getting all this done? Because I want to recognize you and the DPW guys. I put a, all right, well, I put a report in for Crumbling Road in our little development. And I just noticed yesterday on a walk that,
we did that last.
okay, great, I appreciate it, thank you. That was pretty quick. Yeah, we didn't talk about salt.
Yeah, we need to do a...
Well,
Let's do it on,
Mike finished-
yeah,
can
let Mike finish,
Okay.
and let's
Thanks.
put it on the agenda for the 20th.
All right.
You can talk about salt.
There's,
Can't read this one.
there's one other item that I was going to bring up, and then Elaine actually reminded me of another. These are actually not in my situation. First one, no particular order. We recall the, and I forget her name, the resident, she lives at 305 Hamilton.
Yes, I do. Boyd.
Boyd,
Mrs.
Mrs.
Boyd.
Boyd, thank you. We got contacted Elaine, we got involved, this is
Mhm.
regarding
The
a,
sewer grate?
exactly,
Yeah.
a failing inlet is in essence what it is.
It was fixed and now it's really
And
not good.
it happens to be situated directly behind her garage, so when she backs out of it into the road, she drives over it. And the DPW, tried to fix it, a year or two back, and
2012.
it's in need of further repair. And Joe, please don't take this the wrong way, more of a professional,
Is it like a sinkhole issue?
No,
type
no,
thing, or
no,
it's
no,
not-
no.
It's got nothing to do with
It's
that.
just a
The
failing inlet.
integrity of it is
And
flat.
it happens to be cast in the concrete driveway apron. So there's concrete work, there's blacktop work, because it obviously sticks out into the roadway, and there's obviously the inlet repair work. Okay, we've looked at this, and what we were trying to accomplish, as cheaply and effectively as possible, is to get some contractors out there to look at it, so I had an idea on price. I think we can actually eliminate the inlet as an inlet, because directly downstream of this inlet is a double bid. So it's not like we're losing capacity to...
That's great.
So you want to take it out and fill it, basically?
Yeah.
So we have, I mean, we still need to do a little work. Okay. Long story short, I called Wilbur Excavating, who I've worked with Wayne and known Wayne for years now, of course.
It's former police chief.
Yes. And he looked at it, we looked at it, and we came up with a repair, and I tried to keep it under the quote threshold, just for obvious reasons.
Yes.
Okay. He has agreed that he would do this for $2,400. And that would include obviously cutting out the concrete, repairing the inlet box, casting a section of pipe inside the box, backfilling it with concrete and then stone, and do everything but the blacktop of the roadway. And that, he was saying, the DPW guys could come in and finish. He'll do the concrete repair work on the inlet. The quote threshold is $2,650, I believe. So if it's under $2,650, that's what I kept encouraging him to try to be under, because he didn't start at that level, I might add.
I'm
You're
sorry
a
you
good
didn't...
negotiator, Mike.
Yeah, well, I tried. So he as of today, as a matter of fact, he says, all right, I'll do it for $2,400, but I can't do the roadway work. Which would just be patching the blacktop where he's got to cut out around the box.
Don't do
So,
it.
Yeah.
There's,
Let's get it done.
it's-
Let's get it done. It's got to get done.
It's been-
It has to get done. It's been
in
long.
an open
And,
issue
and
for a
we
while.
want to get this done before it snows.
Yeah.
Can you put that on your list too, Joe? 305 Hamilton.
Well, he's got to wait for a while.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but at least we'll have it on the to-do.
Blacktop plant is scheduled to close December 1st.
The
Well, you might-
blacktop plant.
Then honestly, can I have a motion authorizing,
Joe, wait, did we get a second quote? Somebody else?
it's 2,400.
It's under the...
It's under the bridge.
It's 2,400.
Do we need a second quote?
Thought it was anything over 1,000, we had to have two of them up close.
No, it's 15%, isn't it 15% of the bid threshold?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like $2,600.
Yeah, I think
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
What?
He's
Well, the
underneath
two,
it, too.
the two
He's underneath
finance
it,
people
200.
have left the room.
This has been going on too long.
3
and-
years.
And we have the bad weather coming. It needs to get fixed. So,
No, I did not, because I basically twisted this guy's arm like...
Well, we just do it subject to confirmation that that's what...
okay, a motion to authorize Finelli, Engineer Finelli to proceed not to exceed $2,400 upon Township Attorney's confirmation that the project can be awarded without soliciting a second bid.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
The contractor is Wayne Williver. Let's
Yeah.
put that on the record.
Uh-huh.
Williver Construction or whatever it is.
Comment, roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Rail?
Yes.
Second item.
So,
And-
Mike, when would that be worked on? Because Joe was saying something about December 1st and the road work.
Well,
I guess because
I
of the cold
told
weather.
Wayne that I said I wasn't sure what action you may or may not take tonight.
Okay,
I said I would follow up with him tomorrow either way.
okay,
I don't have a schedule.
okay. Can you let me know when?
Sir, and, worst case, in all honesty, they cold patch it for the winter, and then, I mean, that's not the best option, but, I mean, it'll still be a finished product for bounce.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Next item is sanitary sewer maps. Now, Elaine and Jim are a little more familiar with this from sitting on the sewer subcommittee. There's been a few items that have come up in the past year or so that we've realized that our sewer maps are out of date. And there's some additional sewer lines that need to be included on those maps. This is what actually Elaine whispered in my ear earlier. And I apologize, because this is probably something I should have had in my report, but since I didn't do a report, for the reason last month's report is not in. We've looked at it, and it's not a whole lot of work. I've estimated that, if you're comfortable with us updating the map to reflect primarily the line serving Hillsburg East to Honda up Route 519, we could do that work for we bill it like we normally do our time materials rate with an upset fee of $1,200.
Okay.
So if you're comfortable with that,
Okay.
we could proceed.
I'll make a motion to authorize Township Engineer Finelli to update the sewer maps for an amount not to exceed $1,200 and funds coming out of the sewer utility.
I'll second.
Comment, roll call.
Joe, you might make the motion, Elaine second, it, right?
Yeah.
Felice?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Kalari?
Yes.
Toriello?
Yes.
Good, Adam?
Adams is absent.
Adams is not in, yeah.
It's passed. Next item.
Dumont Road. All right, we had a bid opening scheduled for October 15th, which was the date before the October meeting, which of course didn't occur. We received 3 bids.
How do you make them out?
The low bid this time, and again, this was the same bid that we put out the second round.
Right.
The second round low bid was 222, the third round low bid was 223, 8 and change. So it's very close, but still even above. It was a different cast of characters and bidders, but needless to say, if we rejected the bids at 222, we couldn't award the bid at the low bid for the third time anyway, because it's higher, even though slightly higher than the low bid the second time. Okay. So, what I've done, because of...
I'm sorry, Mike, I'm sorry, don't when you entirely rebid, doesn't it make previous bids null and void?
Yeah, he did.
You were comparing
Right.
the bids. I don't think you can do, you don't have to do that.
He's just giving his history.
Oh, I didn't know, okay.
He's just giving his history, not
Sorry
that
about that.
not that it's anything on the table.
I thought you were putting it out there.
So, what I have done, and again, I've kind of done, Frank and I had a conversation about this, and Joe and I had a conversation.
Yes.
I composed a letter, sent it to the DOT, letter dated October 27th, which basically did two things. One is let them know that we shortened up the project, which was just kind of, catch-up work, if you will. And the second is to request an extension, because our grant agreement is getting close to coming up to due. Now, I've spoken with my contacts at the DOT at length and explained, and it's outlined in the letter I sent as well, what has happened and so on and so forth. They said that they didn't see any reason whatsoever that they would not grant an extension. And at this point here, due to weather constraints, time of year, the bid prices we've received, the budget that we've established, I think that's the best thing to do, is just put this into 2015, and we'll deal with it in the springtime, probably through the co-op. What that will do, and John Howell has been asking me pretty consistently what the decision is going to be with Dumont. The DPW is going to have to do a little patchwork on certain bad spots for now, just to get us through the winter time. Nothing too terrible, but so that's where we're at. I think you need to make a motion to reject the bids, the third round of bids, which were received in October, due to the fact that they're over budget, and then we get the extension, and we talk about this in the spring, or early, winter.
Michael, a couple points on this. I know you and I spoke about this on the phone. We now have two identical bid specs that went out to bid without any change in scope and assignment, because I know the first time versus the second time, there was an issue of whether the second time is the second time or the second time is the first time on a new bid, and we've concluded the second time was the first. But we now have had two.
Yes, we have.
Which means we now have the legal right to reject and to engage contractors in direct negotiations without having to bid a third time. So my question to you is, would it also be of interest to authorize you to take the lowest bidder on this round, which wasn't low enough, and basically give them a number and say, you can have the project for X? And have you been able to run a calculation in your mind of what the project cost would be under the co-op? Have that number in your mind, whatever that number is, and then go to the contractor and say, you can have the job for X, and make sure it's a number lower than what the co-op number would be, so that we can absolutely, A, control the final price, and B, make sure that when we award the contract, that we have absolutely guaranteed that the taxpayers are paying the least amount on this project.
Very good points. I was going to interject at some point and say we can't negotiate because the way the public contracts law is set up, if we have another alternative available to us that is at a lower fee, we are obligated to use that. We cannot negotiate. And that is the case here because of the co-op. But what you said just now, which is a new twist...
Well, I'm doing it because this way, under public policy, we would be following the spirit of the law, and how could we be challenged for saving the taxpayer money?
No, if... I have done the co-op analysis.
Don't say the number.
Yeah, no,
I don't want to
because I
say
don't
it.
have the number.
But I'm saying because of what, yeah.
No, I don't even have the number with me. I don't believe, and this is just my feeling from being in the business and dealing with contractors for my entire career pretty much, that there's enough wiggle room for this contractor to come to that amount after bidding this so many times and seeing what these prices keep coming in at. But that doesn't, I haven't approached them.
Right.
So you never know.
Right.
If you don't ask the question, you don't get the answer.
Correct.
So let me do that. There's no harm in doing that.
I think,
And
I find it
let's see.
hard pressed for anybody to challenge that, because they would literally have to be litigating and advocating that we as a municipality would have to follow a process that would incur unnecessary cost to the taxpayer, which would absolutely be a perversion of the public policy.
Oh, no,
So
this is,
I think we could we could do that and be in accord with the objectives. I don't know,
Oh, we would
frankly,
certainly
obviously,
be important to the objectives. I just never looked at the co-op price versus the low bid price and
just tell them they gotta undercut it.
we could certainly do that. They may laugh at me, and they may say, let me get back to
Then we
you.
go back to the co-op.
Yeah,
But if you don't ask,
right.
Mike, does the cost of oil affect the cost of asphalt?
Yes.
And obviously, you know what's happening now.
It's a beautiful thing.
How long of is it, I wonder how long
there-
it takes before it hits their
Well,
prices.
it takes longer than it takes to see it at the gas pumps.
Right.
That much I know. There is through the co-op, there is an actual adjustment that occurs, both up and down, based upon the price of oil, called the asphalt price adjustment. So if you happen to have a co-op job, and it's actually, they pave a roadway when oil prices are high, you get penalized, so to speak, because the price per ton is escalating. Contrary on the flip
But when
side.
we first started with this, the price was way up, and it's been quite a while now. You think that it's at this point,
Well,
it'd be,
we bid this now 3 months in a row. Now, granted, the first bid was different than the second bid. The second and third bid were the same. And, what I've heard from talking to some of these contractors, though, because I've expressed my frustration, they're actually pretty busy, and they're not nearly as aggressive in their pricing as they used to be.
so it's because of that.
Yeah, so that's part of, well, that's the way it works out, as we know. When people are hungrier, they tend to be a little more aggressive with their pricing, but, okay.
so from this point, just to close it up, so you need a motion authorizing you to engage the lowest bidder for the purpose of seeing if he could undercut the co-op price. Yeah, I'll make that motion.
And do we have to reject the third round?
Well, that would be a second, yeah.
First,
That would be second motion, second motion,
Okay.
yeah.
you wouldn't have to do it first.
So, I made the motion, Elaine said comment, roll call.
Miliani?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Florida?
Yes.
Freeland?
Yes. And what's the second motion?
I have
We need a motion to reject the
Reject
bid.
the third bid.
Yeah, so,
based upon the
yeah,
renewal.
I'd like to make a motion rejecting the third bid as it being over the
the township budget.
the township budget.
I'll make that
No,
motion.
second, Jim.
I'll second that motion.
Comment, roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams? Florrie?
Yes.
Freeland?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
What?
I thought
Only
that
before the
coming.
sneeze. huh?
That is it for me, thank you.
Thank you. Now, I'd like to make a motion to open up the meeting for public comment on any item.
Make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Anyone wishing to make public comment about anything, please come up, state your name and address.
That's
So-
not on the budget.
Joe, just before we close, I want to do the salt thing.
Yes.
Yes, 220 Water Tower Road, behalf of my cousin next door. I brought 2 hooks in for my lawnmowers that I used to cut that yard with before you cut the bank out. It shows the degree of angle, which is 30% or 15%. If you want this to look at.
Sure.
Okay, the angle of that yard is like this now, from this angle. I talked to 2 tree specialists about the tree. They do not believe that they pulled the roots when they took that bank out. They also told me that that tree probably lost its immune system because they left the roots exposed to the air because they never did nothing with it. They didn't just cut down, they ripped the roots out. And we've never discussed this problem. This has been going on for 5 years, or whatever, 4 years, since they put that sidewalk in there. Like I say, it's hard for me to cut it. I'm not getting any younger. I was told it's a cuttable angle, all right? Yeah, if you want to weed whack it, and I'm not buying a push mower because I'm getting too old to push mower. I don't mind weed whacking some of it, but ever since this is done, not one of you has gone out and looked at it. You couldn't take 2 minutes, right back, yeah, well, you know, you may be right, because it's like this now, instead of like the other part of the bank there. And you just don't care. And he's lived there 91 years, all right? Between here and across the street, between the 2 houses, 91 years. And you can't even go out and correct the problem. The tree specialist recommended me to go to Rutgers University, all right, to get them out to investigate. It's going to cost me money, which I probably will do in the summer. And if it's going to cost me money, I'm going to give you the bill to pay for it, because we should not have to pay for it, because we are taxpayers. Take 2 minutes out of your life, go look at it. That's all you got to do.
Well, just to answer your question, I'm not an arborist. I don't think anyone else here on the dais is an arborist. What we do as elected officials is we rely upon the expertise of our professionals. We have had multiple conversations regarding this issue, and we have deferred to Mr. Finelli. So whether or not we have personally visited the site to take a look at it, we have tasked our engineer, Mr. Finelli, to look at it. So I just want to, so that the residents understand, when you say we don't care, we're not interested, it's not true. We address things, let me just finish for a second. We address things based upon the recommendation of our engineer. Mr. Finelli has offered an opinion. Mr. Finelli has met with you on multiple occasions. So the issues have been addressed. To be fair, they haven't been addressed in a manner that you find acceptable because your opinion differs from Mr. Finelli. But Mr. Finelli's opinion that was proffered to us is that we should not be expending taxpayer money because it is not a township issue. It is an issue personal to you, and while you've proffered your opinions as to the root cause, pardon the pun, Mr. Finelli disagrees with that and has indicated it's not an issue that would require the expenditure of taxpayer money because it's not a township issue. So, yes, it's true that any one of us could reject the recommendation of Mr. Finelli and call for a vote to undertake action contrary to our expert. I'm only going to speak for myself. I would never do that. I would defer to our expert, particularly, A, I'm not an arborist, B, I'm not an engineer, C, that's why Mr. Finelli is paid to do that. So I just, it's not that we're not interested, it's not that we don't care, In fact, to the contrary, we've had the engineer expend multiple hours with you on this issue, multiple visits, there are multiple conversations. I'm going to say over the course, this is my third year as elected official, it's over a year that this conversation has been ongoing, and, I will only say for myself, my opinion will always be what Mr. Finelli's opinion is. So to the extent that his opinion doesn't change, my opinion's not going to change.
My next step is to go to the state, because there was grant
Okay.
money set aside to take that tree down and do the job properly.
And I would encourage you to do that.
Yeah,
I would encourage you to do that.
I thought, I brought that phone number in the next day. Now, you weren't here. I don't have it with me tonight. If you give me an email, I will send it to you.
I don't have an email.
Oh, okay, I'll drop it off at your house.
Well, can you mail it to me?
Yeah, sure.
James has a GSS 220 Water Tower Road, Shortsville.
You got that?
220 Water Tower. Yeah, I'll drop it in the box for you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to take it up with them, and
You should.
because, like I
Yes.
said,
Yeah.
there was grant money to take that tree down. I talked to people down here, and I had them out there, all right? Not just since you've been in office, back, we're going to come out and do it, we're going to come out and do it, we're going to come out and do it, and that's all I ever hear.
Mr. Hess, what I'll do for you is, I'll take the communication, because I knew we were getting in contact, and you just weren't here on those meeting nights, no big deal. I'll drop it off at 220. I'm sure you get it.
You'll mail it to me?
Yep. Yep.
All right, because I'm in and out.
Okay, not a problem. I'll put it in the mail.
I appreciate you finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hope it works for you, because I think that's the communication you need to be
Yeah,
having.
but I did talk to two tree specialists.
Keep us informed, too.
They told me, cutting the roof basically, the year, probably, and I didn't bring a friend in. Okay.
No one's saying that. No one's saying, yeah.
No, I was told that. I was
Yeah,
told.
no, I'm sure you were.
Well, keep us informed how it goes, with the
Okay,
calls.
thank you. I appreciate
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to make public comment? Seeing no hands, motion to close public comment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to, before we do, I'm sorry, I forgot, Mr. Adams would like to talk about salt.
Do you want me to talk about salt?
I would love to talk
Or
about
Thomas can
You
talk
want to talk about
No, you
salt?
can talk
Okay.
about the salt. I'll listen to
I think
you.
we need to ask Joe about some salt. Joe, I had a few questions about salt and ensuring that we had proper supplies on hand in our salt shed, and I don't know anything about salt, so I wanted to know, A, how much, what's our capacity here, and what does that translate into in terms of number of storms, and do we need to order? Do we need to put an order together? Do you want to come up?
Sounds like I was just getting comfortable.
I'm sorry, Joe.
It's gotta be late if you're comfortable on a church pew, by the way.
Right now, we probably have to be here, and this is just an estimate on my part. And that will probably, if it's a significant amount of snow, that's probably 2 snowstorms. Now, right now, with half the salt shed being used, we put the snow fence in there. We're in the process here, the next couple of weeks, it's snow fence time, so that'll be coming out. Usually John starts making the order for some additional salt to come in to start the winter off.
How much can we fit in our,
Right now, how much could we...
if we took the fencing out and,
If we took the fencing out, it would probably, with the machine that we have to stack it, it may hold about 125 ton, but that would be wall to wall and about the same height. If you drive around there and see the height of the pile, about that height, because that's our extent.
Okay.
The unfortunate thing is over all the years of salt being in there, the walls are starting to rust.
yeah.
Holes in it. So we gotta watch how we can stack, we gotta try to stack it into the middle and not put it against the wall.
Didn't the state
Typically,
repeal,
but what do we typically do every year?
that the salt shed thing? There was something.
There was the curtain we had.
The curtain?
We had the
Okay.
curtains in the front.
Okay.
That was part of DEP's.
Yeah, they repealed it or something, the state of New Jersey.
The water
Okay.
off from into the
Yeah,
streams,
yeah.
we're spreading it up and down the roadways.
It's not making it wouldn't make a difference. I agree.
All right, so,
But what do we normally do in terms of preparation every year? We're always prepared, so what's our standard operating
The
procedure?
standard is this month here, once his fence is out, he'll start calling in orders of salt. Now, the way I understand it is, in his account, there's what's called a winner's account, I believe, in there, and that's what salt and things like that have come out of. And that's, I don't know, I think he said it's rock salt, I don't have the price. He handles that, it was up like $5 a ton.
I think Lorraine suggested that he order some recently because the price was going to go up, and that may not have occurred.
Not that I know of. John handles ordering the rock.
Joe, let me ask you a question, because I know different municipalities do it differently. It appears we do a straight salt mix without cutting it. Some towns do salt with dirt or whatever,
And that is because of the stormwater regulations. We're considered a Tier 1 community, and where that would require sweeping of all that grit back up within a certain amount of time after applying.
Okay.
And wintertime, if we have multiple storms, it's not feasible to sweep that stuff up.
What about if you mix it with ground corn too? Is that the
First I've heard of that.
ground corn?
I thought.
I've heard of salt solutions. I've heard of people using, going to pickle factories and use salt solutions and stuff like that. Probably about 6 years ago, when we had a really bad winter and salt we were getting some kind of that solution out of a place in Northampton and bringing it in.
So there's really no option to cut it. In other words, to save money.
Not because of DEP regulations making
Using some alternative to add to it. Yeah.
The county road department, they use a little bit of grit, but they have some manpower stuff that they can get out there with a sweep.
I could see that. Then that may ultimately wind up costing more money.
That also makes a dust storm.
Yeah.
Well, we took a look at what we went through for last year. Ballpark, just on a financial basis, it was like 800 to 850 tons
We have a street
of
cleanup.
salt that we went through.
Where is it? I've never seen it.
I've never
Down
seen it.
here, we just put up behind the old school for the winter.
They actually drive it?
Parking lot.
You would put it up for auction?
I hope we didn't auction it.
No.
Alpha would have been right on that because they want to use it. They want to borrow it.
Well,
See it driven.
About 800 tons.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's very conservatively.
Yeah.
So if we can order it, I mean, I heard from
The
Lorraine.
unfortunate thing is we don't have the storage for it.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate thing, we don't have the storage capacity for it. Now, if the building was modified and we got a bigger machine in here to make the stacks higher, stuff like that, there could be a possibility to get it up over 350 ton or more at one time in that thing. That's my estimate.
I really want to do that.
Well, yeah, you were saying like 125 tons, so that's big.
I'll spend the money.
Well, if we could save $10 a ton,
Yeah.
that adds up.
Lost out on things.
I'm just teasing.
I'm looking at $10 a ton, that's all.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
If there's nothing else, can I have a
Being here,
motion to
Joe.
adjourn the meeting?
Didn't we have one more? Tim, did you still have one more? You didn't have any more resolutions, did you?
No.
Motion to adjourn?
Going to do a motion to add corn to the salt.
Motion to adjourn?
I do have one thing. For the resolutions to be memorialized and given to CFO,
Yes.
to ensure that there's good communications there. So I want to do that as a motion.
What?
To have you memorialize the resolutions for CFO, because she's not getting it.
She's not getting them? You're attached to the... Okay. Make the motion.
I'll second it. Comment, roll
I
call.
didn't make the motion. Did you make the motion?
I made the motion.
Okay.
Comment,
You
roll.
can put yourself down for making that motion.
What are we doing?
Authorize,
It's making sure that the paperwork
Kim
gets from point A to
prepares
point B.
written
CFO
resolutions
resolution.
and then sends them to the CFO so she
Clerk
has
made
a paper
motion.
trail.
That's what I'll make.
Clerk's motion.
Comment, roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yeah.
Adams? Flor?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye.
I think the CFO is back with checks.
And here she is.